Okay, today we're going to really roll up our sleeves and get down and dirty with something called the two-step approach. Pretty basic approach, but very powerful, and it works. Before I get into the actual approach, I want to talk to you a little bit about the evolution of selling, because the two-step approach is something that I created that's based on where we are today in this evolution. So going back probably over 100 years, we had what we call the traveling salesman. Traveling salesman was the person that went door to door selling brushes. It was also the person that would take their briefcase and jump on a train. The key strategy and the key tactic here was to be able to get where you need to go and be able to talk. Put on a nice suit, speak well, and you could sell. Well, that worked for a while, but it wasn't enough. At one point, it had to be evolved into what we call feature selling. That's where we pretty much sell the sizzle more than the steak. We're talking about, you know, you should buy this because it's shiny, or you should buy it because it's red, or you should buy it because it's big, small. It's something about the features of the product, and that was enough for a while because it was unique and it was new. Well, after a while, as you can imagine, everybody was just talking about features, and in the, I think it was the 50s and 60s, made famous by Xerox, was features and benefits selling. How do you bridge that feature, you know, the color, the brightness, the size, into some benefit to the client or prospect? So yes, it's a red car. The benefit to you is that you look cool, all right? So whatever it may be, features and benefits selling carried us through for a long time. And in the late 80s, early 90s, we shifted again into what we call solutions-based selling, where features and benefits were fine, but really, how do we differentiate ourselves? It's an overall solution that we're providing, not just the feature and benefits. Big shift in the marketplace, because now it put a lot more work on us as a salesperson and a lot more work on our clients and buyers, because now they had to digest a lot more information from the vendors. So where does that bring us to today? Brings us to what we call insight-based selling. With the prevalence of the internet and the availability of information that's out there, organizations, it's no longer enough to be able to go in and teach somebody about your solution. We have to provide them some valuable insight that we gain through homework and hard work, or reading and researching, so that we can actually provide them something of value. The key here is that they look at us and they say, wow, that person did their homework. They understand me, they understand my organization, they understand the marketplace, and they understand how their product fits in. So just wanted to go through that, because the two-step approach is right smack dab in the wheelhouse of insight-based selling. So for example, the important thing is the homework that's done in advance. So you've got to go online. There's plenty of information, but I have some starters here for you. Here's an article called The Future of the HR Profession, written in 2002. So now we have the ability to be here in 2013 to go back and look 11 years ago and see what the predictions were and how many of them came true and what the difference is now versus then. Very informational and very insightful, and your clients and prospects could really learn from it. Here's another one. Does HR outsourcing really work? It has the perspective of the salesperson, the buyer, and it has the provider point of view. So it's a really good article on whether or not outsourcing really works. Can give you some good insight. Here's ADP's Iowa and Washington, HR compliance. Are employers ready for healthcare reform? Nobody's ready. We need to provide that insight. We all know the PwC, hidden reality of payroll and HR admin costs. Big one right here. Many of you have worked with this one. It's called the CEO Center for Effective Organizations, How HR Spends Its Time. It's time for a change. Basically said that 15 years ago, organizations were spending 75% of their time on tactical items and 25% on strategic, and it's the exact same ratio today, 15 years later, with all the effort put into changing it. Nothing's really changed. Great insight to bring to our prospects. Here's an ADP sound view. Get ready for the future workplace. Many organizations need the information here. Powers Watson, employee engagement and practice, basically says that organizations that had improved levels of engagement increased their operating income by 19%, Ones that had low levels of engagement, it was down 33%. Strategic Human Resources and Talent Predictions for 2012. It's up to date and relevant. It's by Burson and Associates. And then here's one, Engaging the Nonprofit Workforce. So what I'll do now is I'll take this one, Engaging the Nonprofit Workforce, and go through basically what we do on the two-step approach. You've done your homework, you've read the article. This one here is by OpportunityKnox.org. And so I'm calling up a nonprofit organization, and I'm going to use the two-step approach to gain access. So step one, sent them this article, did the research, and now I'm calling step two. Hello, Ms. Smith. Yes, Tony Rubico over at ADP. Calling in a follow-up to the mail piece that I sent you on engaging the nonprofit workforce. Great, you got it. Excellent. The reason I wanted to call you is because I've been speaking with a lot of nonprofits in my marketplace, and what we found is that based on the nature of the nonprofit work and the emotional engagement that your employees are, expending on a day-to-day basis because of the nature of the work that they do, it's creating a situation where only 55% of nonprofit employees plan on staying at their current job. And that's just one item that's based on the report. I'm not sure if you had a chance to read it, but I'm going to be around next week, next Wednesday. I was hoping that you and I could sit down at 2 p.m. From 2 to 3 to go over this report and how I think we can add some value to your organization going forward. Okay, great. See you then. Okay, obviously it's not always going to go that smoothly, but the key here is to provide something that you're confident in, that can really help the client or prospect, and that they may want to hear about. It's got to be something that that they probably don't know about, or that or that your product can help. And then you've got to be able to sit down and bridge the gap between what's talked about in the report and what they're doing at their organization. So again, quick way to gain access, called the two-step, insight-based selling. Good luck with it.